Welcome to MindBlow, the ultimate destination for jaw-dropping content that will surprise, inspire, and entertain you every step of the way. If you love discovering the unexpected, make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and share with your friends to keep the excitement going. Your support helps us keep blowing minds and creating content you'll never forget, so buckle up and get ready, because this is just the beginning. Why? It's a question echoing through defense circles, and now it's official. Japan's decommissioned Abe-class destroyer escorts are on the table for transfer, but the Philippine Navy is considering only 3, not all 6 available units. Some call it a missed opportunity, others call it a smart strategic decision. But the truth lies somewhere in between. A mix of Japan's careful diplomacy, the Philippines' limited naval infrastructure, and a realistic understanding of what the country can sustain. This is Pinoy Guard, and today we dive deep into why the Philippines is eyeing only 3 Abuoma-class ships, not 6, and what this decision reveals about the Navy's modernization and Japan's growing role in Philippine defense. Before we continue our discussion, don't forget to like button, subscribe, and the notification bell button from Pinoy Guard. Welcome back to Pinoy Guard. In early October 2025, the Defense Post confirmed that Japan had formally offered up to 6 Abakum-class destroyer escorts to the Philippines. These ships, built in the late 1980s and early 1990s, are small destroyers specialized for anti-submarine warfare, displacing around 2,000 tons each. Each vessel carries anti-ship Harpoon missiles, AS-ROC anti-submarine rockets, and light torpedoes, making them ideal for escorting convoys and countering submarine threats in the West Philippine Sea. Tokyo's offer came under Japan's Official Security Assistance (OSA) program, a new framework that allows Japan to provide defense equipment to strategic partners, including the Philippines, at little or no cost. 6 ships free of charge. Sounds perfect, right? Not exactly. The first major reason comes from Japan's side. While 6 Abuoma-class destroyers are technically available for retirement, not all are in the same condition. According to open-source observers, only 3 of the 6 ships remain in transferable condition, meaning they can still operate with limited modernization. The others are too old, with significant hull fatigue, outdated radar systems, and parts that are no longer in production. Japan maintains its ships to very high standards, but the Abuoma-class fleet has served for more than 30 years. To bring all 6 to operational status would require massive refurbishment, potentially costing billions of yen per ship. For Tokyo, transferring 3 functional ships is more feasible than trying to rehabilitate all 6. And because this falls under official security assistance, Japan's Ministry of Defense must justify every cost, meaning only the most viable ships can be donated. So in short, Japan can't give all 6 because 3 of them are already past recovery by practical, economic, and diplomatic standards. Now let's turn to the Philippine side. Even if Japan were willing to give all 6 ships, the Philippine Navy has limited capacity to absorb them. According to defense observers like Max Defense Philippines, the Navy's major limitations are in manpower, logistics, and maintenance facilities. Each Abe-class ship requires a crew of 120 to 150 sailors, specialized training in Japanese systems and dedicated spare parts. Operating 6 ships of a new class completely different from the Korean-built Jose Rizal class would stretch the Navy's manpower thin. The Navy is already preparing to receive 4 new frigates from Hyundai Heavy Industries, with one being built in Sububi and another in Korea under a program set to finish by 2028. Adding 6 aging destroyer escorts on top of that would overwhelm the Navy's logistical support chain and reduce readiness rather than enhance it. So instead of quantity, the Navy is choosing quality integration, focusing on 3 ships that can actually be crewed, maintained, and deployed effectively. Let's be clear, these ships are not free to operate. Even if Japan transfers them at 0 acquisition cost, the Philippines must still pay for transportation, refurbishment, and integration. Refitting each Abuoma-class ship with new navigation, communication, and combat systems could cost 1 to 2 billion pesos per unit, depending on the level of modernization, and that's not including the recurring cost of training, dry docking, and spare parts. It's a hidden cost that adds up quickly, something Max Defense and other analysts have warned about repeatedly. The Navy has learned from past experience. Taking more ships than it can afford to maintain often leads to half-operational fleets sitting idle due to lack of parts or crew. This time the goal is sustainability, not showmanship. Japan's offer of the Abe-class ships isn't just generosity, it's strategic diplomacy. Under Prime Minister Fumio Kishida's government, Japan is building defense ties with Southeast Asian partners, particularly the Philippines, as part of a regional balancing strategy against China. But Tokyo's policy remains cautious. Japan can't simply flood allies with decommissioned ships. Every transfer must pass through a complex legal and diplomatic process under the OSA framework. This means only a limited number of ships can be approved per partner nation per year. That's another reason the Philippines will likely receive 3, not 6. Tokyo wants the program to be manageable, transparent, and politically acceptable both to its allies and its own public. According to Max Defense Philippines, this partial acquisition isn't a sign of weakness. It's actually strategic restraint. In one of their analyses, Max Defense noted that while 6 ships sound attractive on paper, the Navy would struggle to fully operate them, especially with simultaneous programs like the Cebubi shipyard expansion, the offshore patrol vessel acquisition, and the submarine development project with France and South Korea. By focusing on 3 Abuoma-class ships, the Navy can use them as training and transition platforms, a stepping stone between legacy vessels and next-generation warships. Other defense observers echo the same sentiment. Taking 3 well-maintained ships and fully operationalizing them is better than accepting 6 and leaving half docked indefinitely. So, what happens once the 3 ships arrive? They'll likely be assigned to anti-submarine patrols, escort missions, and maritime domain awareness operations in the West Philippine Sea. These ships will operate alongside the Jose Rizal-class frigates and the upcoming Hyundai-built heavy frigates, forming a multi-layered naval defense network. And thanks to the deep-water dockyard at 5TEC in Misamis Oriental, announced recently by Defense Secretary Gilberto Teodoro, the Navy will have a new base capable of berthing both frigates and submarines. It's all part of a gradual buildup, ensuring that each new acquisition fits into a cohesive naval doctrine. It's easy to say, why not 6? But each warship represents years of manpower, training, and funding. The Philippines is no longer in a race for numbers. It's building towards sustainability and interoperability. With Japan's help, these 3 destroyer escorts will not only enhance naval capability, but also strengthen defense ties between Manila and Tokyo, a partnership that's growing more important by the day as tensions rise in the South China Sea. 3 may not sound like much, but in the right hands, 3 can turn the tide. The choice to take only 3 Aboukam-class destroyers isn't weakness, it's wisdom. Japan can't give more and the Philippines can't yet sustain more, but together they've struck the perfect balance. It's a decision born from strategic maturity, not limitation. From alliance, not dependence. And from realism, not hesitation. Because in the modern battlefield of the sea, power isn't measured by how many ships you have, but by how ready they are to fight. This has been Pinoy Guard. If you found this analysis insightful, like, subscribe, and stay tuned, because the next chapter of the Navy's modernization could already be under construction in Cebubi, flying the Philippine flag.